Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you all. I hope you can all hear me correctly. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Aurélie, and I will be hosting all of you tonight. Giving you a bit of a background. So this will be one of the first webinar out of a series of webinar we will be hosting in the next month. We aim to do one per month, so you don't need to be submerged with all of our webinars. We of course hope you are all doing well. We understand it's been interesting month, challenging for some of you and some of us. So we thought organizing this webinar could be something interesting for you to learn a bit more about something outside of this whole situation. To give you a bit of a background, Absolute Internship, for those of you who don't know us, we have been working in the international education industry for the past 10-11 years now, and we specialize in internship programs in different locations in the world. So we are mainly present in Asia and in Europe, and we have about 12 different locations where students are able to go and undertake internships mainly during the summertime. So speaking about today, for all of you to know a bit more, so we have some wonderful speakers, and I will introduce them to you. So we have Gaia. Gaia is from Italy. She is an alumni from Absolute Internship. She joined us last summer in Barcelona, and she interned for a fashion company. So she will tell us a bit more about her experience. Then we have Magdalena. Magdalena is part of our team. She's originally from Poland, and she is our wonderful placement manager. She manages the whole placement team, so she's the person ensuring every single student is having a great work experience. And then we have Fredrik. Fredrik is our co-founder, and is originally from Sweden, and he will be giving you some insight on career tips. And he's actually also one of Sweden's top 25 entrepreneurs in 2019. So this is for the speakers. Regarding our topics, today, to give you a brief overview, we will be talking about how to chase your dream jobs as a university student or as a recent graduate. So this will be covered by Fredrik. Then we will speak about what is the best internship opportunity for you. We will then move on to Magdalena, who will speak about recruiters and companies, what it is that they're looking for when recruiting an intern. Also, what are the recruiting trends in the year 2020? And then we will finish with the experience of Gaia as one of our alumni last summer in Barcelona. So I will now turn on to Fredrik. So Fredrik, I will let you get started. If you could maybe let us know a bit more about how we can chase our dream job as a recent graduate or a university student.
Absolutely. It's great to meet you all today. I'm excited to be here. I think my first tip is to play the long game. So what does that mean? It means that, let's say that your dream job is to land a job with Nike. Don't expect to land a job with Nike when you graduate. Gain different types of experiences, learn, make lots of mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and make yourself as versatile as you can. So when the opportunity one day arises at Nike, you'll be ready for that position. Another advice that I have is to really invest time and effort into expanding your network. Be genuine, be curious about people. You can learn something from anyone. A lot of you have great opportunities on campus to do so. When I was a student myself, I was involved with the leadership team of our local student pub, for example, back in Sweden. I was also one of the group leaders and led orientation for the exchange students and international students that came to our campus, which allowed me to practice my English, of course, and my French, which was great, and got to meet a lot of people from all around the world and make friends with them. So through both experiences, I was able to meet a lot of people, and I think both of them were really, really good experiences. I think all of you are students, and when you're a student, your biggest commodity is time. So you need to use that to obtain all the experiences possible in order to expand your mind and your network. So invest in life experiences, travels, volunteering, all experiences that you can. It will have a massive impact on both your personal life, but also your professional life. Another advice that I would have is to not be selfish. If you want to be successful in life, you need to be helping people. So you need to be saying yes to things. Say yes to as many things as you can during your time at university, because you don't know what those experiences are going to lead to. Say yes to that barbecue that you were invited to last weekend. Say yes to that virtual disco that you're invited to. I mean, you never know who you're going to meet, and what do you have to lose? But above all, I would say have patience. Things takes time. We're being sold instant success today with today's world when it comes to Instagram and social media, and that's a very dangerous thing. Don't buy into that. And overnight success takes 5 to 10 years. So I would say enjoy the process, build experiences, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, meet people, and be ready when the opportunity arises.
Thank you, Fredrik. So obviously we understand that all those life experiences are really important, but do you think you will be able to share with us what is a good internship for a young graduate or for a student?
Yes, I would say any internship, to be honest. I know a lot of students out there are really concerned about, all right, what's the perfect internship for me? There is no perfect internship. Any internship is perfect for you because you'll meet people you will otherwise not meet. You'll step out of your comfort zone. You're going to learn something you wouldn't otherwise expect to learn. It's going to push you to do things that make you uncomfortable, and that's where you're growing. You'll be building versatile and transferable skills that you'll be able to capitalize on in your career. And to be honest, any employer in the world will want to have team members that can bring experiences from all corners of the world in the world, instead of team members that are just being too specialized. And above all, I mean, everyone you meet at your internship will know someone, and that's a crucial part when it comes to networking. I would also say something that a lot of students they tend to forget is that there are millions of students graduating each year with top grades, coming from the best schools, speaking multiple languages. And what makes you special? What makes you unique? Why would someone want to recruit you? Those are some really important questions to ask yourself, and it helps you build perspective.
Okay, thank you, Fredrik. Just jumping in here because we've got a question from Anna in the audience. So I think we can go, along the way with questions. I think this one is great for you, Fredrik. So I will read it for you. Is how do I determine in which industry field I should do an internship? Should it be rather studies related, or should I try to venture out and do an internship in the field of my passion? Very good question. I'll let you answer, Fredrik.
I love that question. It's a great question. So I think I would say don't worry too much about not knowing what you want to do in the future yet. And internships are the best way to test the water and to find out what you might like. I would say do both. Do an internship in the field of your studies and an internship in the subject that interests you within your passion. invest your time now during your university time, so you don't need to spend the rest of your life doing something that you might not like. I have a great personal example myself. In my first year of studies, I went to do a 3-month internship within investment banking. I always wanted to be a banker, wear a nice suit, have a nice car, and work in a nice building. But I learned a lot of great things, a lot of different skills. It put me outside of my comfort zone to do things that I was not comfortable doing. But above all, what I learned was that it was an experience in a field that I didn't want to pursue in the future. I think that was a really great learning experience from that perspective.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's move on then, and let's get to speak with Magdalena, our placement queen, who is constantly working with lots of different employers. I think, so at Absolute Internship, we work with close to 850 different employers, so lots of different industries, and Magdalena is in charge of all those business relationships, so she has lots of insights. And I think she's the best person to answer the question as to what are recruiters in companies looking for. Magdalena, I will let you get started.
Thank you, Aurelie, for this introduction. Welcome, everyone. Yes, today I'm going to share with you some inside information that we have from our partner companies, so from the companies that they are hosting our students for the internship. And yeah, let's see what are recruiters and companies looking for. So obviously they are looking for specific set of skills in each candidate. And let's start with those hard skills and technical skills. So basically it's our educational background and all the knowledge, all the training that we have gained throughout our life at school, at the university, or throughout our career. Example, languages that we speak or computer programs that we know how to use. But then there are other set of skills that are called soft skills, and actually those skills are those that recruiters are paying more attention to. So soft skills are personality characteristics and our behaviors, basically the way we act, the way we react in some specific situations. So we came up with a list of 5 top soft skills that recruiters and companies are looking for in an intern, and I would like to share with you that list. So let's start with the first one. The first soft skill that recruiters are really looking for in an intern is adaptability. So in other words, it's being flexible, it's being open, to do more job that is assigned in the original job scope. At the internship, you will be shared a task list and projects that you will have to develop during the internship, but from one day to another, a company might be changing their strategy and you might be asked to do something else. Maybe even working with other departments and not really working towards the task list that was given to you at the very beginning. So be adaptable, be up to that challenge. It's a great learning opportunity to find out maybe what other departments are doing and to see a bigger picture of the company and their priorities. The second top skill that is very important for employers and recruiters is being proactive and have initiative. So let's say that once at the internship, you shouldn't be always waiting to receive instructions from your supervisor. You have to be proactive. You have to ask questions, be curious. And if you are bored, maybe you finished your tasks and you have nothing else to do, don't wait for instructions. Come up with ideas, with projects that you could be helping with, assisting with, share them with your supervisor, and this way you will show that you are proactive and that you have initiative. The third skill that is also very important is being open-minded. This one is really, really important for all the students that are participating in our programs. As you will be going to different countries, continents, it's a very different day-to-day culture as well. Work culture is different. and you are not really asked to understand that local culture or understand your coworkers' habits, but you should respect them, adapt to them as much as possible, and take it as a great learning experience. Something that is different, it's not bad. It's different, embrace this difference and take it as a great learning experience. The fourth top skill is collaboration and teamwork. It's very important to be able to communicate and relate well to other employees. As an intern, you will be working maybe with other interns, with other employees, and it's very important to know how to work in a team. When we are at school or at the university, our performance is often being rated as individual beings, but at the internship or at any working experience, you will have to work in a team and collaborate. And actually group efforts and teamwork in many work culture are considered more important than those that are individual achievements. And now the last one, but not the least skill, that is passion. So be passionate about everything you do, care and believe in everything you do, starting from writing your CV. Then at the interview, when you are speaking with the interviewer, show that you are passionate about the industry that you have chosen, about the major that you are studying, about the company that you are interviewing with. And then once at the internship, be passionate about everything you do. So maybe if you are assigned a very boring task that it's not interesting at all to you, try to put some passion and you will see that your coworkers, everyone around you will see that you are bringing a lot of positive energy. So now I would like to share with you a real example, how an experience that you already have can be considered, and it's a source of soft skills. So actually, it's often happening that students who are enrolling to our program, they share with us their CVs, and I see that they put nothing under the work experience section. And then when I get to speak with them, they tell me that they actually do have some previous work experience, but they just thought that it's not related to the industry or the internship that they are applied to. That's actually a very big mistake because all the experiences, they are important and they count. So even if your role was a dog walker, a babysitter, a cleaning assistant, sales assistant, etc., you will be able to prove that you do possess those soft skills that recruiters might be looking for. So with this dog walker example, I want to show you that you do have those soft skills. You've been multitasking, you've been collaborating, you've been communicating, you do know how to manage your time well and how to be well organized. So again, the message here is that all the experiences are important and they all count, and they will help you to get the interviewer impressed and hire you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Magdalena, for that. It's a very interesting example. Actually, I've never seen that example, but it's a very interesting example because you may think that you cannot share this on a resume, but it actually shows a lot of skills that you have gained by being a dog walker. So thank you for sharing that. I will just pause. I think we have two good questions. I think we have one question that will be more for Fredrik, based on what he spoke about before, and then one that is for you, Magdalena. So the one for Fredrik is someone asking any tips on how to start building my network within my field, which is marketing, while I'm at home. Obviously, most of the world is currently confined, so I think that person is wondering. Fredrik?
Yes, it's a good question. Obviously, that's not as easy as meeting people face to face. But one tip is to take part and join some online courses. I know that there are some courses that are for free, and that's okay. But those free courses, they don't necessarily have the best networks. So I would suggest invest in an online course is something that you would find useful and interesting, and see it as an investment in your network, both in your network and in knowledge. So let's say that that's growth marketing, for example, growth hacking within marketing. Typically, these courses will have organized Facebook groups, typical groups that are organized through the course company. And there you will be able to connect with people. It's a really good tip, actually, a hidden networking tool that I would highly suggest.
Okay, thank you, Fredrik. I think also, if I can add up to that as an answer, it's a very special time right now, and a lot of people, we see it as in the company, lots of people like to spend lots of time on the phone. So we normally would spend between, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes with a student, on an interview. But now we spend up to 1 hour with the student, because people like to have the opportunity to speak. They feel that they have this human contact. And so you could reach out to people, maybe using platforms like LinkedIn, which is a professional platform, instead of using Instagram or Snapchat or all of these other tools. If you use a more professional one and you reach out to different professionals that you would like to connect to, maybe in these specific circumstances we are in now, they might be more open to speak with you. And obviously, if you don't try, you don't know what could have happened. So that could be also another tip for you to build your network. And then the second question that we had for Magdalena, which is related to your presentation. Where do most students make tremendous mistakes in an interview and lost their opportunity to be accepted to an internship?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that question. It's actually a very good one. I would say that the most common mistake is that students don't do enough research prior to the interview about the company. And maybe instead of asking questions about the internship role itself, about the company, they focus too much on speaking about their personal professional plans, where they see them in the future, which is of course very important, but they are not showing enough interest in the company that they are speaking with and in the role that they are applying to. So of course, for the interviewer, it's seen as that person doesn't have enough interest, and that person didn't take enough time to investigate and do some research about the company. So this is very important. Preparing well prior to the interview, doing some in-depth research about the company, and then at the interview asking questions about the company and the internship role itself.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Magdalena. I will just get one last question because it can be an interesting one, and then we will move on, Magdalena, with your presentation. We've got a question from Hang. It's directed to Fredrik. So hi, Fredrik. I'm also aspiring to be a banker, and I have done 2 internships that were not in banking, and those did not help a lot when I applied to banking, especially investment banking. And so we asked, what could be your advice? I don't know if you want to give your advice now, if you want to give your advice as an email later on. Up to you, Fredrik.
I'm happy to answer that to Hang right away, and I'm sure that could be applicable to anyone in the audience. I'm sorry to hear that, Hang. I think a very good advice that I would have is to apply for a private equity internship instead. Private equity is very similar to investment banking. Do something within private equity. And I'm sure there's a private equity firm in your hometown or where you're studying, or a firm online where you could do an internship remotely who would need somebody to work unpaid, and where you could learn a lot. And I'm sure that if you would have this private equity internship plus the 2 internships that you already have, you will be much more successful when it comes to future applications.
Thank you, Fredrik. And I would also add, Han, that if you have the opportunity to intern, outside of your country, that could also be an option for you. Myself, a long time ago when I was a student, I interned also in different countries. And then when I came back home and I interviewed for different positions, basically my CV and my conversation with recruiters was on top of the pile because of the pile of CVs, because I was able to speak about different experiences that I've had overseas, and it was showing basically what Magdalena spoke about before, those soft skills, that I was able to be really adaptable, because I went, all the way, actually myself, all the way to China to do my first internship, which is very different from my own culture. So if you're able to showcase this type of skills, I think in any kind of industry, it can help you for your banking internship. Okay, let's move forward for some questions, just for all of you to know, because you are asking now. There's some Q&A that happen, and some of them we choose to answer them live, and some of them will type the answer to you either privately or through the Q&A. So we'll type the answer. So please be patient with us. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on. Magdalena, shall we move on to the recruiting trends of 2020?
Yes, sure. Let's move to this next topic. So again, what I'm going to share with you guys, it's the first-hand information that has been shared with us as a feedback from our partner companies. And here we created a list of recruiting trends in 2020, top recruiting trends that are happening. And let's start with the first one, that it's hiring international employees. So companies, they definitely tend to hire employees that are international. They want to add extra value to the team, diversification of the team, and at the same time, people who are coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, they can add some different point of view. They can have some extra knowledge that maybe locals wouldn't have. So another recruiting trend is not only hiring international employees, but employees who have previous international experience. As an interesting number, according to the University of California, 97% of the students who interned abroad found their employment within 12 months after graduating. So this is very impressive. Another recruiting trend that is happening at the moment is retention-focused hiring. So here, companies, they want to make sure that they are not only hiring to fill the position today. They want to hire future leaders, people who are going to bring extra skills, and they will get the job done tomorrow. Another recruiting trend that is also happening is company culture. So companies are strongly focusing on making sure that an office, it's not only a workspace for their employees. They want their employees to feel happy, to feel motivated, accomplished, appreciated at work. So they will stay for many, many years within the company. They are making sure that every stage of the employee life cycle is a positive one. Another recruiting trend that is also happening is use of technology and all the communication channels to look for talents. Probably you noticed yourself, but here it's not only about putting job posting on the company website or special assigned websites that are for recruitment. Here, the companies, recruiters, they are also using social media, so LinkedIn, Facebook, or even Instagram. And another important number, statistics that we have here to share with you is that 70% of employers are using social media to screen candidates. It's very interesting. Another recruiting trend that has been shared with us is the remote employment. It's something that it's very, very popular at the moment, but as a matter of fact, it has been already present for a couple of years now. So some companies are deciding to work fully remotely, maybe to cut their cost of office rental, but at the same time, maybe a company that is based in Madrid is having employees that are based in Philippines or in Sydney. So here again, they are adding diversification to their team. This is something very positive, and basically remote employment is the future. Here I would like to share some interesting numbers. 66% of companies worldwide, they already allow their employees to work remotely, maybe once per week or once per month. And then 16% of the companies worldwide are fully remote. So definitely it's a trend that it's going to be very popular, and we will see more and more companies working remotely. And the last one, recruiting trend that I would like to share with you and basically wrap up and refer back to what I shared before, is that employers are hiring for soft skills. So of course, hard skills are still very important. For some specific roles, you need to have specific educational background and you need to have specific technical skills. But nowadays, the hiring decision most likely will be based on your soft skills. Soft skills are the key. Just remember, after this meeting today, work hard on your skills, improve yourself, be open-minded, be flexible, be adaptable.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Magdalena, for that. I think something we will all remember from the presentation really is the soft skills that are very, very important. And I think we can see it because we were students more than 10, 15 years ago, and the trend was so different back then. The hard skills were very, very important when we started, and then it started to shift slowly. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it will be in the next 5 to 10 years. How would recruiting trends be? Let's see. So we have an interesting question for you, Magdalena. So George is asking us, what are employers looking for when they screen social media accounts of potential employees? I think that's a very, very good question. I think, Magdalena, you have some examples. I know we've shared some examples together with students and employers' feedback on that. So I will let you answer.
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm glad that somebody came up with that one. So basically, they're looking for things that would make them not hire you. I will put it that way, okay? So, maybe they want to see your private life pictures, how you are getting in relationship with other people. So, of course, it's important to keep, even if it's your Facebook, maybe just go to this privacy settings and make sure that you are sharing all the information from your profile only with your friends. It doesn't mean you are not allowed to check in at this pub or disco on Saturday. You can still do that. But of course, recruiters will try to see if you are that person that they would like to have in their team. So it's very important. Then maybe let's start with your profile picture. It should be still quite professional, especially for LinkedIn, that it's the tool that they are using mostly. Make sure that your picture is professional and that everything is up to date. But yeah, just to make it shorter, I would say just make sure that your privacy settings for your maybe Instagram or your Facebook are up to date, and make sure you are not posting anything that might sound inappropriate to the future employers.
Yes, this is very true, Magdalena. And I think also if you choose as a person to be a public person, to have your profile up there and people can look up for your profile and for everything you want to share, I think what I've heard from employers in the past is that you need to look like a reliable person. They want to see that you are this person that they will be able to rely on. And this can be seen through a profile by the type of people you choose to post pictures with, the type of sports you decide to do. So if you decide to go public with all of this, then you need to make sure that you have a specific discipline. Otherwise, if you are not too sure, I would always recommend for you to follow what Magdalena said and to make sure that your privacy settings are up to date for just friends or people that you want to can actually see all of your content because it can really betray you, and I think it's not something that that you would like to happen. Let me see with the questions. I think we're good. Okay. So let's then, I believe, move forward. Thank you so much, Magdalena, for all those insights. We will be moving to Gaia. So Gaia is our wonderful alumni who joined us all the way from Italy last summer, and she came to Barcelona. So Gaia, I will let you introduce yourself, maybe tell us a bit more about this experience, and then we can go through different points that you want to share.
Yeah, so as I already said before, I participated to the Absolute Internship program in Barcelona last summer, and yeah, I was working for a company operating in the fashion industry. The brand is Visionario, and its main activity is producing and selling sunglasses. I was hired as marketing intern. I was in charge of the management and the planning of the social content on the web page and also on the social media of the company. And I also managed the online orders and helped my colleagues to manage all the orders for the optical shop in the southern of Spain. So I decided to participate to this experience for several reasons. First of all, because I wanted to add an international experience to my resume, which I did not have at the time. And secondly, because I wanted to understand if I could do this on my own by getting out of my comfort zone. In fact, what this experience gave me the most is definitely independence. So I can say that participating to an Absolute Internship program is not only a mere work experience, but it is also a life experience. So you can come into contact with people with different, coming from different countries, with different lifestyle, and I think that this fact leads guys like us to mature quickly. And after this experience, you definitely come home richer. Then I would like to share my experience after the internship in Barcelona. So after the summer experience, I started the second year of the master degree that I'm attending, which is a master degree in global business management. I'm going to graduate in July, I hope so. And after a few months of classes, I started to elaborate the idea of doing another internship. So I took the opportunity of a career day in my university to leave some resume to companies in which I was interested. And among them, there is the company for which I'm working right now since February. And it's a multinational company that operates in the retail industry. Its name is Metro Cash and Carry. And but I know that in some other European countries it's known as Macro. And I work in the business intelligence division, and let's say I mainly do report and business analysis on commercial campaign, KPIs, trends, customer trends, and stuff like that. I'm certainly at the beginning of my working career, but I would like to transmit you some small tips that I learned during the interviews that I held during December and January. First of all, I think that you have to be honest about your skills and experience. We are all about to finish university, and we don't have years and years of experience in the labor market. So I think that is important to be prepared, but I think also that companies have the task to teach and pass knowledge to future generations. As Magdalena said before, we are going to be future leaders. So yeah. So by lying about your abilities, your only risk is making a bad impression when you are asked to do something that you don't really know how to do. The second tip is a great classic. Magdalena has already talked about it, and it's be proactive. So it's important to participate, listen to co-workers, gather knowledge from as many people as possible, and offer help even for simple tasks. For example, during the internship at Visionario last summer, I helped in set up sunglasses into the stores. So I wanted to make myself useful in any way, taking away workload from my colleagues, and this was appreciated. Another example is that at the moment I'm doing smart working because of the lockdown, and well, unfortunately I live like 1 hour from Milan, in the epicenter of the Italian coronavirus outbreak. So I know that it's not easy for an intern work remotely. I spent many hours in meetings, just taking notes and listening about the activities that my colleagues were doing in video conference. And also in this case, I think that it's important to help in every way. For instance, I usually do PowerPoint presentation, design Excel report layout, so something like that. The last tip is don't be afraid to ask for clarification. The latter is definitely related to the first tip. So since we are all learning during internships, we need to be sure of what we do. And I think that it's better to ask once more rather than making mistakes. And yeah, that's all about my experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Gaia, for sharing this with students. I think it's interesting for us, obviously, to hear that, but I think it's interesting also for fellow students, because it's easy for them to hear it from us. You know, we have the experience, as we mentioned, 15, 20 years ago, we were at university, but you are still, you know, a student. So I think it's good for them to relate to that. I think there was one question from the crowd that could be interesting, because you have been interning last summer in a fashion company, and now you are interning for Metro Cash and Carry, which is completely different when it comes to the industry and the work you are doing. How valuable was that experience in Barcelona in fashion, and how do you think you are using those skills in Metro Cash and Carry?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say also that an international work experience give you prominence in your resume. So it definitely makes you stand out from the crowd. Yeah, okay. And because it's something unique. And Well, I think that, as Magdalena said before, I'm using right now soft skills that I learned in Spain during my first internship. So I learned how to be proactive, how to helping my colleagues in different ways. Propose myself, something like all these activities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Gaia, for sharing your experience. I will be moving, and then what we can do towards the end, because I know not everyone has a lot of time, obviously. We still have a lot of questions to go through. What we can do is that once we are done with the presentation, we can simply stay and answer the questions. So those that are interested in staying can stay and listen to the questions and the answers. And those who don't have time, then they can leave. But first, finishing the presentation. We are anyway almost done. I think now it's a great time. It's giveaway time. So giveaway time is always a good time. And so we would like to obviously thank you for participating and joining our webinar. And we decided to offer a giveaway to one lucky winner. So the giveaway will be a 350 euros voucher towards an Absolute Internship remote program this year or next year. So we have been launching remote internship program, which is basically very similar to the program that we are currently offering, but it's remote. It's obviously to help us right now and help the students and universities and the companies to still be able to be with each other during this period, but it's also a vision that we have on the long term to be able to welcome more and more students in a remote way. It's a different type of work experience, but it's a very interesting one, and it has a lot of inclusions with lots of different speakers that are being featured. So that's what you are able to get in the giveaway. So this is how you can enter the giveaway contest. So first of all, you will need to follow us on Instagram. That's of course a golden rule. If you follow us at Absolute Internship on Instagram. Number two, you will need to post an Insta story with a photo of your best trip so far, and the name of the career speaker you attended, which is the name of today's presentation. So post an Insta story with a photo of your best trip so far. It's a good period to do that. Number three, tell us what other career lesson you would like to learn next. So this is a very good way for us to understand what it is that you want to hear in future webinars. And then of course, number four, you will need to tag at Absolute Internship in your Insta story. And you will need to hashtag Absolute Career Speaker Events. That's how it will be for the giveaway. So if you want to take a screenshot and you would like to get into the contest, do so. And I will be answering. Let me see. I will be reading some of the questions to see who they should be going to. Okay. So we have a student, or I think maybe we've been answering some persons already because there's back and forth. Okay, we have Anna who is asking. I think we already answered that question. We have a question from someone called Darina. Her question is, I am no longer a student, but graduated recently in the science field. I am currently looking into going into programming. Are internships only for current students or graduate alumni adults also able to try internship in separate fields? And what do recruiters look for in such a person, if so? I think it's a very, very long question, Darina. So I think we will have your email, or maybe you can send your email to us in in the chat to all the panelists, so we can send you a specific and detailed answer, because it's a very long question for everyone to wait for. Let me see. We have also a good question from Anna asking if we can get a recording from this webinar. So yes, you will be able to get a recording from this webinar. We will be sending that tomorrow or Thursday. So this week you will be receiving a recorded version. So you will be able to see the exact way you are seeing it now. So no worries for that, Anna. Then we have a question. It's a personal question to you, Gaia, if you want to answer it. It's about your internship. The person is asking if you have had any problems financing your international internship. So to be able to join the program, I think you did it through your university. So maybe you can answer, George.
Yeah, where can I like read the question? Because I don't understand about financing. Yeah. Oh, Aurelia, I can hear you. Okay.
Sorry, the question is from George, and it says, hi, Gaia, did you have any problems financing your international internship?
Okay.
Do you have any problems paying for it?
Well, actually, I won money from my university, and well, I collect money also before the internship, because before my bachelor degree, I was working as a math tutor in a learning center. So I collect some money in order to like do this experience, and after that, I also won like a school something. Yeah, I don't remember the name in English of but money from university. Oh yeah, scholarship. Yeah, right. Sorry. I also won a scholarship from my university, and it was based on my grade. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we have a students asking how I can apply for an internship as a fashion marketing student in summer 2020. That's a very good question. It depends where it is that you want to go for summer 2020. Because not all the world is able maybe to welcome you, or maybe not all the world is able to, you're not able to go everywhere in the world. If you are currently in Glasgow, you can stay in the United Kingdom if you want to. And you can go to London, but what you could be doing is also the same as I said to the other student before, Daria, and you could leave your email. I'm sure you already did to register, and we could get back to you by email with all the information for you to know how you can apply and how you can do. But it's quite simple. If you go on our website, it's very self-explanatory. You can click the apply button, and then you have two options. You will have an option for a program in person, and you will have an option for a remote program, and you can just choose, and then you send in your application, and we will be able to get back to you very soon. Let's see. Also, for everyone that is leaving and that doesn't have the time to stay, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you to make the time to speak and to listen actually to all of us and to ask all of your questions, and we hope you you remain safe, and you will be able to slowly hopefully deconfine like all of us in Europe soon. But thank you for joining. For those that are staying, I have a question from Aisha K. Would you say internships are valuable for any career path, even though studying vocational degrees? I don't know if someone wants to answer that question. Fredrik is raising the hand, so I will pass on the question to Fredrik, please.
It's a very interesting question, and I would say yes, of course. I mean, the more internships you are completing and have under your belt, once you have graduated. Even with a vocational degree, you'll be so much more competitive when it comes to securing that graduate job once you have graduated, so to speak. I would say also to make yourself even more competitive and to have your CV and on top of the stack would be to do an international internship, so either remotely or in the city, and it's gonna be your little star on your CV that's gonna spark that a lot of employers will be impressed about.
Okay, thank you very much, Fredrik. There's a lot of questions that I'm looking at right now. So I think this is a question for Magdalena. It's a question from Ella. How do you place individuals in positions? Do you work with a range of different companies? I'm wondering about the logistic of the process. So I think Ella is wondering about the whole placement process. Magdalena, if you could give details.
Yes, I'm happy to answer that one. Thank you, Ella, for that question. So yes, in each location that we have a program, we work with a number of local companies. And once you enroll to our program and you select an internship industry, we will be sharing your CV with our partner companies, and the companies that they will answer positively, we will review which is the company that could be the best match for you, and you the best match for them. And then if the company requests that, we will move to an interview stage. You will have an interview, and if everything goes well, that's it. Your internship will be confirmed. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Magdalena. Yes, we do work. Magdalena is the one working with the whole placement team, and we have a very thorough placement process. But it's true, everything that she said, it's a very clear process, and it also really depends on what your expectations are and what it is that you really aim to do with that whole experience, Ella. And then I have a question from Fatima. Can you give us, can you give us some tips on how to be successful in virtual interview? So does someone wants to answer that question? Magdalena, I know you've been having lots of virtual interviews.
Yes, I'm happy to answer that one. Basically, there are many factors, like, I'm not going to mention all of them, but let's start with having a clear background. So the background that I have behind me, this is starting point. You have to make sure that you are in a quiet place, so there is no noise that would be disturbing your conversation. You should be also wearing elegant clothes, so make sure that your outfit is a business attire. You have to be professional. You want to be seen by the interviewer as a professional person, a professional intern. And yeah, there are many other factors. I believe that that's something that we will be speaking about during the next webinar. We will be sharing some information about how to be successful at the interview. So I encourage you to participate in our next webinar, where my colleagues will be sharing more information. And if that was maybe not enough and you have more questions, please leave your email address and I will be happy to answer you via email.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Magdalena. I think the last question we have is a question from Lavanya. I think Lavanya was already speaking with one of our wonderful typing angels, because we also have a small army of team members that are helping us answer the questions that we are not able to answer. So thank you to those angels as well. But Lavanya, your question, which is the last, do you help with interviews and application processes like assessment centers? So we don't have an assessment center per se, but yes, we do help with interviews and application processes. Once you are enrolled into our program, you will go through a pre-placement process, meaning that you will be speaking with the placement team, speaking about what are your expectations, how to prepare for an interview, what are the questions that you can expect for that interview. We also give you some tips on how this company has done interviews in the past, what it is that you should be expecting and what you should watch out for, and we prep you as much as we can before you are able to get an interview. Also, I think what's important for you to remember, Lavanya, is that before getting all the way to that stage of getting an interview with one of our host company, you will already have had an interview with one of our team members as a screening process for you to come into the program. So this would have been kind of not really a rehearsal, but a first step. So you understand what type of questions can be expected for you to answer during a whole interview stage. Yeah, so I hope that also answered your question. Thank you very much to you as well, Lavanya. Thank you. Wonderful. I don't think we have any more questions. I can see we had a lot of questions, but thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all of our speakers, Gaia, Magdalena, and Fredrik. Thank you so much for your time. It's evening in here, but thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you to our back office angels, as I call you. Thank you for spending the time with us this evening, and to all of you also who have joined us this morning or afternoon or evening, depending on you are. We look forward to welcoming you into the next one that will be next month, and we hope you will be staying safe wherever you are, and stay tuned for all the announcements that we will be making on remote internships. And good luck with the contest, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice evening.